really like Tommy Fury. I think he's a bit of a melt. When's the Jake Paul fight? 2 more fights left on the undercard until the Jake Paul fight. All right, Woodley, Jake. Me, I need mod power. Woodley, Mr. D-Dog. A lot of you guys saying Woodley.
Strap. You want the strap. Tell us, tell the world, tell Cleveland what you want next.
Absolutely. Strap me up, man. Strap me the fuck up, man. We've been working hard.
Set up for your own Montana love. Carl, back to you.
The Waterpik Water Flosser. Clinically proven, the easy and most effective way to floss. Brushing only gets the surface, but the Waterpik Water Flosser cleans the areas brushing may miss. Healthier gums and brighter teeth in just a minute a day.
Wop. Duck in and out. Wop. Keep it, you know what I mean? Keep that, pump that jab.
Knockout. But I guess it's gonna count as a stool stoppage or whatever. Daniel Dubois and Joe Cusimano's coming up next, and then 2 more to the main event: Amanda Serrano, Yamilet Mercado, and Jake Paul and Tyron.
Absolutely loving it. Yeah, I did notice that FPL Central. Shout out to you. FPL Central says I'm also a Fantasy Premier League YouTuber. I mean, all I'm gonna say is, you know, shout out to you. All I'm looking to do. I'm looking to do.
On this.
Oh, damn, bro.
Or like I was involved at the time, I was trying to become a world champ. And we got a great situation right now. You know, we are father and son boxing. But I'm the...
Pero sinabi rin kasi ni ano.
That's what, Brian, that's what I'm saying. They're doing speed wrong, bro. That's a whole dude.
Fight me then. If you really want to fight somebody, you want to say you beat somebody, fight a world champion that actually known for knocking out.
August 28th. UFC. Meme season!
And then winning is the best feeling in the world. Jumping on the ropes after you win and just flexing on everyone who doubted you. There's nothing else like it.
I did go down a different street when I was growing up. I was in a gang. Some of my friends are dead in jail. I usually get suspended almost every week. I was such a class clown. I was such a bully. I was such a troublemaker. I got suspended for the last time. I got suspended for
I will never ask you to donate. Just rock with me in the chat, man. Rock with me in the chat. I understand that, you know, you guys want to maybe hear your message on stream or whatever, but thank you so much, Big Ginge. And you know this community is behind you, man. 4-0 amateur.
Without getting distracted by Tyron's cheeks.
That's a good question.
Well, it's going to be boxing shorts, so you won't see him as much.
That's a good question. Tyron's cheeks. I tell you what, I'm going to be checking out them cheeks. I'm with you, man. All lives matter. It's all good. We love everybody in this chat from all over the world, all shapes and sizes.
Don't come unstuck. Stick with Sellotape.
7,000 subscribers, guys. 7,000 subscribers. Go right now. Subscribe. 2,800 people in here, guys. Go subscribe. I'm giving you guys the play-by-play of each fight. The third fight is happening now. The heavyweights, these heavyweight guys. Third fight is happening. Then the girl fight. Then the main event. Guys, it's getting very close. It's getting very, very, very close. My cousin Darnell, I can get him back on speakerphone. I don't know if he's going to come or not. What's the link? Okay. Let me send invite now. Okay, let me send the invite. Let me show you guys right now. So let me get my screen up because my cousin is about to actually get on. But before I do that, I do want to show. Oh, what?
In punches. Missed with that right hand. Didn't miss by much. Big left hand there, and then a right hand from Love. And the referee there was MIA.
Level was sitting on the bottom of the rope and we're getting hit with big shots. Here we see again at the end, but then I think Love catches him when the referee says break, finally separates him.
Yeah.
This is what happens, separate him. Then Love.
Cut was the punch.
I know we say protect yourself at all times. You know, maybe Brad should have had his hands up, but
the referee should have been there quicker.
Yes, sir. You're right.
When I say stop, listen. When I say stop, listen. No, look.
And the referee is warning the wrong guy here. Left hand from Love. Now the crowd's going to react more to Love's punches than to Baranchik's punches. Good right hand by Baranchik again. Love has to hold on.
You good?
Left hand slipped in by Love. Baranchik getting more in range, though.
Yes, he's getting closer. He's really closing that gap. And when he closes the gap, he's got to take advantage. He's got to get that heart rate up, Love's heart rate up. Don't let him think. You let a guy like Love think, then he's going to get off. He's got to keep that pressure up, constant pressure. Get off. He's got to keep that pressure up, constant pressure.
Oh, this is not a... No, this is a fight.
From the United States of America, Jake.
Type in the fucking...
Later this summer.
Birdie.
In that shit.
The way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
In that shit.
the way I see him, like he got
showed that
And
tonight.
keeping it in perspective, obviously, Giuseppe Cusimano comes in at 19-3, but had never been. Good. Hey, Daniel.
But before we get to the co-main event, here's a look at some of the many reasons why Showtime has become the go-to network. She likes to deliver. Amanda made a bet with Jake Paul tonight on who will have the most spectacular knockout. The Unified Champion says the only thing she hasn't done yet is knock an opponent out cold, and that's what she's going for tonight. But before we get to the co-main event, here's a look at some of the many reasons why Showtime has become the go-to network for the best in combat sports.
The hits keep coming on Showtime.
You don't want no trouble.
40 fight nights a year.
Oh, what a shot!
4 hard-hitting series.
With a phenomenal finish. When the lights and cameras on, he hit hard.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Showtime, the home of combat sports.
We're here in downtown Cleveland, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. You know, this is a city that's been revitalized over recent years, continues to embrace its sports teams and sports heroes with immense pride and passion. Tonight, Jake Paul hopes to add his name to the list of Cleveland's success stories. Let's go back to that Barstool Sports bet desk. Here's Dave and Dan.
All right, Dan. Well, a lot of people, first of all, are saying our set looks like we're at a Home Depot. That's what happens. You go 0-3, you're down 45 grand. But never fear. I want to set the stage here, set the mood. You have a very inspirational quote from Dion Waiters. Please enlighten the audience.
Yes, Dion Waiters once famously said, I'd rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9. Because if you go 0 for 9, that means you stopped shooting. That means you lost confidence. Again, not to pat ourselves on the back, but that was a spectacular loss after a spectacular loss, and we're still here.
We faced the music. I hurt my shoulder. I raised it up. We were wrong. But we are still firing, and we got a great fight. Amanda Serrano versus Yasmini Mercado. Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Give me the odds, and let's fight our way, no pun intended, but intended, back into this.
Okay, so Amanda Serrano is the big-time favorite, so minus 2,500, and Mercado's plus 850. So this is another one where it's tough to bet on the money line, so I have 2 bets. And I hope you don't have the same bets as me, Dave. I have Amanda Serrano to win by KO or TKO or DQ, minus 159. And then I have under 7.5 rounds. I think she's going to put on a show. She says she's a coach.
Give me
the dressing room. I expect a good
careers, and the first round is down here in Cleveland. Let's go to Felix.
Antagonize you in this way?
Yeah, you know, I just brushed it off. I know what it is. It's all the bells and whistles and the curtains behind to try to get into my mind. And really to sell the show, but now the show's sold. Now it's time for me to go out there and turn up.
I'll let you go do that. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Phoenix. Whelmed by the magnitude of the moment. She's a champion in her own right. Gets tagged with a couple of right hands, but Mercado coming forward. A good boxer. Would kind of push that left hook. And there's some the early knockout, and then if it doesn't go according to plan, hey, she's got those long range skills, the combination punch. Deep. Now we're going into the round. Now you, which is really young for a female fighter.
Yeah, normally it seems they turn pro later on in life, and a lot of times it is something she's utilizing as not effective. For her, she is avoided in this. Not effective. For her, she is avoided in this. Not effective.
That's crazy.
Tyron Woodley.
Yeah. Alright, I'm just gonna chuck Tyron Woodley on for the win and chuck $4 on it. I'm poor. I'll chuck 5 on. I'll chuck 4 on.
Good morning, Jake Paulus.
It's every day, boys. Thanks to all the 150 people in the chat right now. This is by far the biggest stream I've ever done. So, thank you. I rolled out of bed this morning, chucked on my camera, and 150 people watched me on my couch. So, yeah, appreciate everyone coming. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe.
I actually beg, bro. Please don't crash. Please. No way. Refresh. My Wi-Fi's like out or something, bro. I need to use my phone. Wait, YouTube's down. Chat's not even my fault.
If the
It just shut down.
Come on, here in round 7, easier said than done when you are facing one of the best pound-for-pound female fighters on earth in Amanda Serrano.
And in the last several rounds, Serrano's really shown us her.
Minute left here. The 7th. Serrano continues to batter Mercado at the end of the round. And earlier tonight, another Cleveland native, Charles Conwell, the Olympian, undefeated, faced another undefeated fighter in Juan Carlos Rubio in a 10-round, 140-pound fight. There was one knockdown in round 2, but it was all Conwell out.
Conwell was superb in this fight, using the straight right hand and hooks to the body very effectively. A great arsenal.
Largely responsible for this huge crowd on hand here in his hometown. The main event still to come, but you are watching 126-pound championship action. Serrano holds 2 titles, defending against Mercado. Neither fighter has been down in their respective careers, and we've already hit round number 8, a minute and a half left in the 2-minute stanza.
Serrano, as you know, also a MMA practitioner, 2-0-1 in that.
With submission wins, believe it or not.
That's fascinating. Yeah, it's a very good point. So,
there's a sweeping left hook by Mercado. But yeah, Serrano took up MMA while waiting to get big fights in boxing.
As have others like Clarissa Shields done the same thing. And now she hopes to win this and hopes to get a big fight like the one she almost got with Katie Taylor.
Yep.
She doesn't want to go up that high, but she would for the Taylor fight go up to 135.
Well, she's been up to 140.
Yeah.
And now that close quarter, Serrano digging away to the body, but there's a left hook that lands for Mercado as Serrano continues to work the body.
That was one of Mercado's best punches in this. Punches in this
sorry for Mercado. Mercado pushing in. Maybe she should use her body just to push forward, because Serrano is just, I mean, the right distance, the right kind of punches. Although Serrano's oh my goodness, the blood. And now the face is opened up. There is a big scar in the left cheek of Mercado. Oh my goodness. She still wants to fight. She's being asked. She's being asked.
Puerto Rico versus Mexico in the boxing ring. You're going to get blood and guts type battles. And Mercado wearing the vestiges of war and just got lit up by that left hand from Serrano. Misses with the left uppercut.
totals. Judge at the ringside, Jaime Garayua scores about 97 to 93. Stacy Blevins sees it 98 to 92. And Dana DePaulo scores the action 99 to 91. All three in favor of the winner. And
I want that fight in the future. I want the champions at featherweight. I want to become undisputed champion, and then what a great fight it will be, undisputed champion versus undisputed champion. I could be just like the GOAT and be on this.
I suggested she go downstairs early and throughout the fight, and she did. Her body punching was just spectacular. Throwing that.
to use his range, control the distance in this fight with his jab. Paul says it's important for him to counter Woodley's right hand, and Jake believes his straight 1-2s are the punches that will deliver a knockout. And according to the problem child, this right hand, and Jake believes his straight 1-2s are the punches that will deliver a knockout. And according to the problem child, this fight won't go past 3 rounds. Tyron Woodley says the key for him, patience and pace. Unlike a UFC fight, he believes he doesn't have to rush. He'll have plenty of time to set up his punches and combinations. Woodley says he'll use his newfound jab, slips, head movement to get on the inside, and then will walk Paul down like a bully. Woodley says once he connects with his right hand, Jake Paul will go to sleep. Before we get to the main event, here's a preview of Cop Shop. It's coming to theaters in September.
What'd you do? What I had to do to get to you, Teddy.
Why are you trying to kill him?
I'm the bad guy. Get me out of here. You got a date with me first. I got a lot of money. There's no deal to be made. Deja vu. That's not deja vu, dummy.
Cop Shop, rated R. Only in theaters September 17th.
We're here in Cleveland, Ohio. This is a look at the Hope Memorial Bridge, which crosses the Cuyahoga River into downtown. These 43-foot-high guardians of traffic have stood tall for nearly 100 years. And beginning next year, you know, the Cleveland Major League Baseball team will be renamed as the Cleveland Guardians. The name was selected to represent a regional sense of loyalty, protection, and progress here in Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. As we get ready for the main event, let's check in with the guys who are going to call this fight. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. Talking about Mauro Ranallo. Al Bernstein, Ariel Helwani, and Mo, listen, over 16,000, a sellout, have come out here. You've spent decades covering combat sports. Talk to me about the evolution. How did we get here?
Well, it's something new to all of us, Brian, and you talk about 16,000. The atmosphere already is electric as my suit for this special occasion, and honestly, we got here because of a guy by the name of Jake Paul who, well, took the pro wrestling handbook and used it to perfection in casting himself as the Sure, he'll be laughing all the way to the blockchain, but I'll tell you about the drawing power of a guy by the name of Jake Paul. My nephew, Roberto, Gen Z, avid gamer, he made the trip to Cleveland with his father because he said he had to see the main event. It reminds him of a real-life video game. But we know, Brian, that this is not a game. It's a professional boxing match, and Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley are going to get down and try to hurt each other in just a matter of moments.
Yeah, you're right about this. I'll tell you what, this arena is electric for this main event. Al, you know, Jake Paul says he wants to be taken seriously as a professional fighter. Does a victory over Tyron Woodley put some respect on his name as a boxer?
You know, a big part of this boxing journey for Jake Paul, I think, is gaining acknowledgement from the boxing community that he works hard at this and that he's improving. He's been sparring with world champions like John Pascal, taking his lumps in the process, and of course he's upgraded his opponent. Woodley's certainly not a boxing champion, but he is a combat sports veteran and a champion mixed martial arts, obviously. And so what I think Jake Paul is hoping is that this is one more step towards showing the boxing community that he can be more than just a YouTube guy trying to box.
Errol, Tyron Woodley, considered one of the greatest fighters in MMA history. How much pressure on him tonight?
There's a ton of pressure, Brian, but you know, after... because I want to prove that I'm better than the MMA community. So he picked Tyron Woodley, the former UFC champion, who has not won a fight in 3 years, who's on a 4-fight losing streak.
High-profile celebs as well to see this. About Dave Chappelle, one of the GOATs when it comes to comedians, is here in Cleveland. A man Conor McGregor certainly doesn't want to see anytime soon. The UFC lightweight champion Dustin Poirier is in the house. Former welterweight world champion Andre Berto, he is here in Cleveland as well. As well as Corey Spinks, the former 2-division world champion, in the house. And we've got some Olympic boxers here as well. Duke Reagan, O'Shea Jones, Delonte Johnson, all of them with the hardware as well. Hunter Armstrong, another gold medalist from swimming here in Cleveland. And yes, Youngstown's very own, the former lightweight world champion, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. And back with me here to get some more insight as we get ready for this main event, Logan Paul, the big brother of Jake, and of course the Bellator featherweight world champion, AJ McKee. You just heard these guys have a discussion on this. As these guys get ready to make their ring walks, who's got more pressure on them? Is it your brother? Is it Tyron Woodley?
I think so, yeah. I think it's Jake. Let's be honest, Tyron knows he's at the end of his career. He said it to his own vlog camera. I fooled him. It's a money play for Tyron. He don't really want this fight. My brother's on the cusp of starting the rest of his life, of really beginning his legacy, leaving his mark. You know, we brought it to Cleveland. This is the first step of many. Cleveland showed up. Stop sleeping on Cleveland. Like, this is one of the best cities on the planet, and I really feel that way. And it's so cool to see everyone here supporting Jake, and I think he's going to knock out Tyron in a really violent way.
AJ, if you're training Tyron, what does he need to do in the ring to be successful here tonight?
He's got to bring the pressure, get inside, put Jake's back against the wall, and make him fight him dirty, you know what I mean? I feel like the longer this fight goes on, the better it is for Jake. I think Tyron just needs to get in there and go leave it all in there, you know what I mean? He doesn't have to worry about takedowns. He doesn't have to worry about anything else besides letting his hands go. So that's the big question. Like Logan said, this could be his last fight. I think the pressure's pretty even in this arena. Just Jake's got a lot to fill, you know? He's not fighting a rollover. This is Tyron Woodley. He's got punching power, knockout power, and I'm excited to see how this goes.
I asked Logan this, and I'll ask you this. Will we see you in a professional fight?
Definitely. We're working on it. We're going to see you in the cage.
Yeah, bro.
Let's do it.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Last thing for you, for Jake, in the ring, what does he need to do to be successful?
Win. I got to go walk out with him, bro.
There he is. Appreciate it. Logan, AJ McKee, thank you very much. We got to give you a final update on the latest odds. And before we get to the main event, let's go back to that Barstool Sports bet desk. Dave, Dan, it's all you.
We're still here. We're still here. Still here. Hashtag still here. I'm 0-8 on the day with the picks. Dan and I haven't won a thing. It's been ugly. The good news, this is the fight why we came. This is what I was excited about. I know the most about it. I have no idea. Dan, what are the current odds?
Listen. Plus. In the ball. In the same bet again.
And as we sign off, get ready for other sports. If you haven't played with us, you see how fun it is. We're having fun. Always gamble responsibly.
Flight attendants,
Any
please
deposit,
prepare
if
for
you
landing.
haven't deposited Barstool Sportsbook, open up $10, whatever. We'll give you a $100 free pick on Super Bowl champion.
London Heathrow Unicorn, speedbird 205 heavy is on left base, runway 9 left. London Heathrow Unicorn, speedbird 205 heavy is 12 nautical miles to the northwest at 3,000 feet, inbound for landing, will make straight in for runway 9 left. London Heathrow Unicorn, speedbird 205 heavy is 12 nautical miles to the northwest at 3,000 feet, inbound for landing, will make right traffic for runway 9 left. 1,000. 500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off. You may now make and receive calls as well as use all data services on your handheld electronic devices. When it is safe to leave your seat, take care when opening the overhead lockers as items may have moved and could fall out and cause injury. Before leaving the aircraft this morning, please make sure that you have all of your personal belongings with you, and remember that smoking is not allowed until you have reached a designated area.
London Heathrow Unicorn, speed for 205
Please be
heavy is clear
aware
of all
that all
runways.
liquids, including contents from onboard amenity kits, will be screened prior to your next flight. To enable you to take these liquids onto your next flight, these items must be placed into a clear plastic bag available at airport security. Customers who use the British Airways mobile app can receive connecting gate information and boarding notifications if you have your device switched on. You can also connect using the free Wi-Fi offered by Heathrow Airport. All of us at British Airways, and indeed the One World Alliance, would like to welcome home our customers who live here and wish those of you visiting for business or leisure an enjoyable stay. If you are travelling further afield, we wish you a safe and pleasant onward journey. It has been our pleasure to serve you, and we look forward to welcoming you back again very soon.
A really interesting test here. I think Tyron Woodley has a lot of pride. I think Tyron is
He's sparred with people like Jean Pascal, a world champion, and so he thinks he's doing the best he can to be the best boxer he can, and this is a process.
And he has legitimate power in that right hand, and oh yeah, so does Tyron Woodley. As we go to the tail of the tape for tonight's meme event.
as we take a look at these numbers, I think the big number is 39 for Tyron Woodley. We know, of course, he's lost a bunch of MMA matches in a row. How much is still there at age 39? I think that's a central question.
And the for the main event, no 3 knockdown rule in effect. Only the referee can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental foul or headbutt causes a fight to end within 4 rounds, it's a no decision. After 4, they go to the scorecards for a technical decision. Welcome to 2021. What is life? Here is Jimmy Lennon Jr. Life here.
Action is under the supervision of the Ohio State Boxing Commission Executive Director Bernie Profato. Introducing our judges, scoring from ringside. From Pennsylvania, Dana DePaulo. From Ohio, Jaime Garayua. And also from Ohio, Phil Rogers. Our referee in charge, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, George Nichols. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 8 rounds of boxing in a cruiserweight special attraction. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Cleveland, Ohio, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing silver trunks with turquoise and pink trim, hailing from and representing his home of St. Louis, Missouri. He weighed in at 189 and 1/2 pounds. With a background in wrestling, he was a 2-time All-American and Big 12 Conference champion. Tonight, making his boxing debut, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the sensational former UFC
Welcome, boxers. I want you to protect yourself at all time. Obey my commands at all time. You were given your instructions previously. Touch them up, fight hard and clean.
Jake Paul refuses to touch gloves. He would rather tattoo Woodley with punches once the bell goes. George Nichols in his mixed martial arts, the guard, the stance, everything is different.
This is surreal. We've never seen Tyron in a stage like this before. I do want to point out, Moro, you mentioned the right hand from Jake Paul. His team told me all week, look out for the left. The left will be his undoing. That's the secret weapon we haven't shown yet.
There's
we haven't shown yet.
There's Paul with a right hand to the body of Woodley.
Woodley came out and threw an awkward right hand. He will try and get the overhand right in. He has to hold.
To continue to fight. It felt like the fire was gone. Maybe this will reignite it. Or he could get lit up and blown out. Ignite it.
See some aggression as well.
He's definitely measured here in the opening round. Going to the body with a couple of right hands, but still very robotic, very mechanical early on for Woodley.
Yeah, and Paul using...
looks much more comfortable.
Yeah, using all of this ring, using the jab, and putting some combinations together so far.
Paul working with BJ Flores, a former title challenger. And Woodley has gotten pointers from the likes of Floyd Money Mayweather, worked with Cuban boxing trainer Pedro Diaz, Eric Brown, so he has his fair share of boxing intelligentsia in his corner and in his camp. Wow, look at the stats, Al.
Woodley throwing only 6 punches in the first round.
Meanwhile, Paul landed 6 punches while throwing 21.
You got him in good rhythm. I need you to...
And we look at the keys to victory for Paul. He needs to counter effectively, and he has done that so far. Control the range, that's another thing he's done, using the jab. And, of course, his big punches, the right hand, that's created most of the 7 knockdowns he's had in his 3 fights. As for Woodley, use the jab to get inside. Haven't seen that yet. Can't throw the off-balance right hands. He'll be countered, but he does need to land a big right hand, so he's got to take the chance to do that.
He threw one jab and landed the one jab in the opening round, Al, so definitely has to work on that.
Well, he was 100% anyway.
Yeah. The bell in round 2. You know, Jake Paul says his goal is to earn people's respect and show people how hard he is working because he takes this more seriously, he feels, than a lot of pro boxers. Which, again, Jake Paul, as he lands a right hand, but you have to admit, Al, he can market himself a lot better than a lot of pro fighters.
Better than almost anybody. Forget pro boxers.
I'm fine with giving Woodley a pass for the lack of activity in the first round. New venture for him, first round out of the way. But now this is going to be a very telling round. Is it the old Woodley or is it the one in 2016 who was pushing the pace? We're about to find out.
This fight came about as Woodley was in Ben Askren's corner. Ben Askren stopped in the first round by Jake Paul, and Paul and Woodley began, well, to talk a landfill's worth of trash, and now they are talking with their punches.
You know, Paul is so far fighting a very disciplined fight.
Yes.
You know? He's using jab, punching from range and doing what, you know, he needs to do to win these rounds. And Woodley just can't get untracked offensively. He's not so far. And I think Paul is waiting for a Woodley charge that is kind of out of control so he can counterpunch.
Big size difference between Paul and Woodley. Woodley with the jab aerial early.
And you would think the longer this fight goes, it would favor Woodley. He's fought 25-minute fights.
Right.
Paul has never gone past the second round. BJ Flores, head trainer for Jake Paul, told me we dare him to go 6-7 rounds. That's where we want to beat him because we think he's going to get tired early.
Yeah, they think that the sparring he's done with all those good fighters, including Jean Pascal and a number of others, will be the difference.
Some MMA fighters as well. Mike Perry, he's sparred.
Yeah, very good point.
A minute left here in the second round. Still very much a feeling out process, although Jake Paul has landed some combinations. Tyron Woodley surveying the landscape and gets hit with a right hand to the body, left hand upstairs. Well done by Paul. Placed those punches very expertly.
You know, he's a pretty good combination puncher. Now, you know, you temper that with the fact that he hasn't yet fought a pro boxer, but you have to look at it and take it at face value because he can throw good combinations.
Meanwhile, Woodley from the Show-Me State of Missouri looking to show up and show out, but trying to get on track here. Less than 20 seconds left in the second.
Paul probably weighing 200 pounds right now. It's a very noticeable difference.
And the fans have followed Paul's career. They're booing because it's gone past the second round.
First time.
Yes.
Oh, baby, good round. Slow down. Hold that right there. Slow down. Very good. Deep breath. Check your boxing beautiful. 1-2-0, okay? 2-0. 1-2-0. I want you this round, Jake, to keep bouncing. I want you to bring some jab right hands in the middle. We haven't done that yet. Bring the jab right hand in the middle and get to the right. Also, when you're stabbing, moving back, touch jab off that back leg. We haven't got that jab. Go to him, punch him. You understand? Let your hands go, son. This is your night. Own your stuff.
Okay, y'all.
Let's go.
Look, you got the momentum. Let's take the momentum, okay? We need the momentum. Do it. Do that shit. You got 6 more rounds left. This ain't easy. Sonny.
Bell in round 3 again scheduled for 8. Now our main event, Jake Paul going to the body, counter upstairs as Woodley looks to land the jab. And
that's one of the first really good right hands that Paul has gotten in. You know, he's been pawing to try and find a place for that punch and did get that right hand in very nicely. And there's Woodley jabbing a little bit. We mentioned that we thought we might see some of that from him.
Well, we saw the great feature on their moms, Errol. You know what they say. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind, and you don't mess with anybody's mama. And the mamas, well, they got along. Mama said knock you out.
Yes, and especially Mama Woodley. I think the entire MMA community was ready to come to Cleveland on her behalf. I heard Tyron's corner say to him, let those hands go. He's starting to do that now in the third round a little bit more.
She should get a talk show. That's what I've heard about.
She should get a podcast. There aren't many of those around.
No.
A minute gone here in the third. Nice right hand left. So that right to the body, left hand upstairs has been the money combo for Paul.
Yeah, you know, he's using his jab to set that up well. And Ariel is right. Woodley did come out a little bit more aggressive, and he's going to have to throw. Now, there he opened up with a hook, but he got countered.
Countered by Paul, and Paul going to the body with the jab.
Woodley, and he almost got a power punch in. I'm not, you know.
Not a lot of offense, but as we saw the numbers, Paul with the advantage.
I don't know about you guys. I'm happy this fight is going longer. I wanted to see more out of Jake. Hopefully, regardless of what happens, he's gaining.
Lead right uppercut in the right hand, and Woodley shakes it off. Admit it, Ariel, you just want to be a part of a longer fight here, buddy, making your debut. It's about time 2 Canucks were on this podcast.
That's right.
feel like I'm in the middle of a Canadian bacon sandwich.
We welcome you, Al.
And the question, and it is an interesting one that Ariel pointed out, you know, Woodley has
see some aggression as well.
He's definitely measured here in the opening round, going to the body with a couple of right hands, but still very robotic, very mechanical, Al, early on for Woodley.
Yeah, and Paul using...
looks much more comfortable.
Yeah, using all of this ring, using the jab, and putting some combinations together so far.
Paul working with BJ Flores, a former title challenger. And Woodley has gotten pointers from the likes of Floyd Money Mayweather, worked with Cuban boxing trainer Pedro Diaz, Eric Brown, so he has his fair share of boxing intelligentsia in his corner and in his camp. Wow, look at the stats, Al.
Woodley throwing only 6 punches in the first round.
Meanwhile, Paul landed 6 punches while throwing 21.
And we look at the keys to victory for Paul. He needs to counter effectively, and he has done that so far. Control the range, that's another thing he's done, using the jab. And, of course, his big punches, the right hand, that's created most of the 7 knockdowns he's had in his 3 fights. As for Woodley, use the jab to get inside. Haven't seen that yet. Can't throw the off-balance right hands. He'll be countered, but he does need to land a big right hand, so he's got to take the chance to do that.
He threw 1 jab and landed the 1 jab in the opening round, Al, so definitely has to work on that.
Well, he was 100% anyway.
Yeah. The bell in round 2, you know, Jake Paul says his goal is to earn people's respect and show people how hard he is working because he takes this more seriously, he feels, than a lot of pro boxers. Which, again, Jake Paul, as he lands a right hand, but you have to admit, Al, he can market himself a lot better than a lot of pro fighters.
Better than almost anybody. Forget pro boxers.
I'm fine with giving Woodley a pass for the lack of activity in the first round. New venture for him.
I think the big question is,
jab from Paul.
Can Tyron Woodley generate offense? How does he do it exactly? And we don't know him as a boxer. How does he do that exactly? He did land a good straight right hand, but it'll take a little more than that.
Right hand to the body by Paul. Feel himself. There's the jab by Woodley. Crowd on its feet. Again, Jake Paul in his hometown, but as many people want to see him get knocked out as are cheering for him to win.
He still looks stunned.
Woodley walking Paul down, and then Paul with the right hand. Woodley slips, but he got tagged with the right.
The plot is thick.
Yeah, high drama indeed as the seconds continue to tick away here in round 4 as we head to the second half of this 8-rounder. So Paul facing his first taste of adversity.
And then later in the round, using the jab, how about that? As a feint, and then the right hand kind of gets in on the side of the head. And he follows using the jab. Off the side of the head and pushing him against the ropes. Could you call that a knockdown? I don't know.
Definitely knocked him off balance, and Jake Paul's body positioning couldn't make his corner feel good as round 5 underway.
I know one thing, that's probably the first round that Jake Paul has lost as a boxer.
And this crowd in fuego here as we begin the 5th. Paul looking to bounce back. Double jab lands.
Yeah.
There's a right uppercut by Woodley.
Oh, wow. And a hook. Jake Paul needs to land something of note, I think, to keep Woodley off of him.
Yeah, Jake Paul is finally in a fight.
Yes, he is.
Woodley's confidence is growing. He's hunting him down. Look at that look on his face. He's been here before. Jake Paul has never been here before.
And this is where Paul, if he says he's worked on counterpunching, and he and BJ Flores have done it in the sparring section, this is where that counterpunching is going to need to come into the play.
And just like you mentioned, Al, our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood, gave the last round to Woodley, making it the first round that Jake Paul has lost unofficially, at least.
Well, Woodley had an interesting quote this week. He said, I'm going to do something that will be internet breaking. We'll see if he is.
There's a straight right hand that scores for Woodley. Hands are low. Now back up to a boxing guard. Still open, and Jake Paul's body language speaks volumes, guys.
I have not seen this look on Woodley's face since September of 2018 when he beat Darren Till in Dallas. The confidence is growing. Look at that guy right now. He's starting to believe that he can actually do it. And we haven't seen that for the last 4 fights.
Now, he has not been active in this round, that active in terms of only throwing 12 punches, so he's going to need to be a little more active and land something.
Oh, and that left landed for Paul. The crowd eating up every single second. They anticipate a major explosion coming. Both Paul and Woodley waiting for the other to make the first move.
And, you know, Woodley not too anxious to engage right now. He's been in with a couple of counter punches, and I think he's trying to be a little bit cautious.
Wild right delivered by Paul. Uncharted territory for Jake Paul. And Tyron Woodley in his pro boxing debut giving Jake Paul the toughest fight of his embryonic boxing career.
When Woodley jabs, it's a good jab. It's an underused punch for him.
And as noted, trainer Stephen Breadman Edwards says a jab finds rhythms and breaks rhythms.
What a crowd.
What an atmosphere here in Cleveland.
No close rounds. No close rounds. You got to hear me, man. Don't give this guy no time. Give him too much time. Yeah, that's all he needs. You don't give no time, it's an easy fight. Stay on top.
Well, Tyron Woodley had his moments in that last round as well. Throwing a nice uppercut on the inside. And later on in the round, and there you see him trying with the left hook, using the straight right hand that gets home. And that's where a more experienced boxer would have followed up with a left hook. Woodley not at that point yet. And then here's where he and Jake Paul had a kind of a moment with each other. And Jake Paul, I'm not sure what that was, but
shades of BJ Penn when he nicked his gloves back in the day, but there was blood on him back then.
Round 6. Jake Paul looking to go 4-0 as a pro boxer. Tyron Woodley looking to knock Paul off in his pro boxing debut.
Step back. And you know, round 4, in my mind, round 5, a pivotal round in this fight because, and we'll get more from Steve Farley.
Yeah, let's bring in our unofficial scorer.
Mo, I agree, and Al, I agree that round 5 was the first really close round. I gave it to Paul. I wouldn't argue going the other way. As a result, I have Paul regaining a 3-point lead with Woodley clearly winning round 4.
I agree with that, by the way. You know, Woodley's only thrown 89 punches in this fight, and that doesn't mean he couldn't still win by being accurate, but he's going to need to pick up the pace a little bit.
Dave Chappelle agrees he's on his feet, encouraging the athletes to go to comedy in the house here. So many luminaries out for this unique night of combat sports entertainment. There's a left hook curling behind the guard, the jab, another jab by Paul on Woodley. Taking deep breaths is Jake Paul.
Certainly feels like he's gotten a second win. And I think we could finally put to rest the question, is he a fighter? I think tonight he is proving he is a fighter.
Tyron Woodley very judicious in dispensing punches out.
Yeah, that's, I think, could be his undoing here because while he's landed some good power punches, you know, only 15 punches this round, though Paul's only thrown 21, so it's not as if either man has been super busy.
Again, the left hook upstairs by Paul. 1-2, and Woodley closes the gap, starts to dig away with his free hand.
Paul is punching totally off his back foot. That's why some of those power punches are not making a big difference, but some of them are getting there, and that could easily be enough to win him this round.
Wadding footwork by Paul. 15 seconds left in the round.
Well, he thought enough to feint there, and that had enough impact on Woodley.
Woodley on the attack as we go to the 7th. Is he going to do a Superman punch there?
2 more rounds. Good fucking round. Very good. We got it, okay? Stay relaxed, stay calm. Deep breath. You're doing a great fucking job. Deep breath. Good job, baby. Deep breath. Straight to do this. All day. We got it.
Jake, you're way ahead, bro.
You're up 6 rounds to 5 rounds to 1, okay?
You're way ahead, Jake, so don't get crazy.
Listen.
Stay calm.
Listen, this is what I need you to do this round.
We got 6 minutes now. I need everything you got, but smart. Everything, don't hold back. You don't want to get back there and be like, damn, I could have did more. You don't want, it's 6 minutes. You know how fast 6 minutes go? You want some dog shit. Let that shit go. Every time you touch him, you're scared. No, you didn't go first. I just need you to listen to me. You gotta touch me. Everything's gonna work out. Just go first. Use your face, move your head.
One thing's for sure, Woodley would love to be Jake Paul's kryptonite tonight as we get set for round number 7.
You heard Gerald Tucker say, move your head to Tyron Woodley. That's often been a critique of MMA fighters. They don't move their head enough.
Okay. They don't move off that center line, and now Woodley.
I got you. Hey, listen, stop with that head when you're inside.
And they want to express the urgency to Woodley that he needs to land something big, and he's got to get in there and throw punches.
Yeah, Tucker doing his best Angelo Dundee impression there.
Yes. You know, I think the one missing piece in there, you see a little of it. I think if Woodley was jabbing his way in, he's showing a decent jab. Missing.
Left hand by Woodley.
And the wider they get, the more Woodley could take advantage of that.
Woodley staying composed in the center of the ring. Granted, we'd love to see an uptick in offense as they exchange. Paul's circling away, and Paul takes another deep breath on his back foot.
Well, this is one of the few rounds in which Woodley already has thrown more punches than Paul, so he has been a little more active.
And just past the midway point of the 7th. It was billed as Jake Paul's toughest test, and it is proving to be just that with 1:10 left in the 7th round. Just over 4 minutes total left in this fight.
Al, has Jake shown you anything that has surprised you from his last fight? You were there ringside. Anything new?
Well, no. I mean, I think he's showing some resilience in being able to go this distance right now. As the fight goes on, his technique becomes just a little bit
there's a
less.
Left hand that went through the guard for Paul. Neither fighter able to put together sustained attack or combinations as, again, they clinch.
Okay, stop. Don't punch.
And that will eat up precious seconds from the clock.
Which does not help Woodley.
Woodley could steal this round. They are close.
There's a right hand by Paul, and Woodley nailed it with the left.
And that right hand would have been a little more powerful had he not thrown it off his back foot.
3 minutes left.
You're the boss out there. You're the boss. We're doing everything. 6 rounds to 1. Shut up, baby. Let's go. We need you to fight that one more round, all right?
Yeah, he knows he needs a knockout to win. Be smart.
He's going to come out the first 30 seconds hard, all right? Hands up, bouncing, hands up. One more round, we got this shit, all right?
Be smart.
We landed some good right hands. Listen, bring your feet up a little more, and I need
Early
some
on in that
punches.
last round, Woodley did have this good moment, landing that kind of short left hook, a leadoff left hook. Later on, though, it was Paul who I thought was effective in the latter part of the round, and may well have been enough to win him the round. Landing this overhand right, and that was a good overhand right by Paul. And he's gotten some good right hands in.
8th and final round. They didn't touch gloves at the beginning. They just touch gloves now to kick off the 8th and final round. And this crowd, en fuego.
And they did warn Paul. They said he's going to be needing a knockout, so you're going to have to be careful.
And Woodley is seeking that right now with the jab. Setting it up, but not utilizing the jab. And they're both just throwing haymakers wildly.
Woodley has to throw everything at him. He has to know that he needs a finish to win this fight.
Don't sweat the technique, right?
And of course, we feel that way. So does Steve Farwood. Our unofficial scoring. Judges may be seeing it differently, but it would be hard to imagine.
It is.
Would it? No, maybe it would. Given what we've seen this year.
Overhand right there. Paul throwing from out of range, backing up. And Tyron Woodley right in front of him. Woodley looking to deliver a punch, but it gets smothered as they get close like Starsky and Hutch again. A minute 42 left.
Very smart by Paul to kind of, every time he does that, he takes some seconds off the clock.
Jab lands for Paul. Really every single punch becomes that much more valuable as the time continues to tick away. And Paul, another deep breath. Coming forward with the double jab. Woodley stays out of range, but Woodley needs to ratchet up his offense.
Paul said, he actually said, I am looking past Tyron Woodley. Well, leading up to this, obviously you can't, because Woodley has given him a very good effort, even if Paul is winning this fight, which he probably is.
Woodley said he grew up in environments and circumstances that are way more scarier than a fight. He says fighting doesn't give him anxiety, his fear.
Let's see what he has left in him. 35 left. Regardless, I think he has represented himself very well.
Yeah, he hung in there and landed some good shots.
Just landed a right hand.
And Woodley might be winning this last round. I doubt that it would be enough to win him the fight.
No.
Well, they're both winning when it comes to subjecting each other to capitalist punishment. That's for sure, as this fight will go to the judges.
I think Jake's mom thinks she won. I'm pretty sure.
Woodley's celebrating as well.
And I'm sure Mama Deborah's doing a little dance as well, right, Ariel? Well, we went 24 minutes for the first time in his burgeoning boxing career. Jake Paul forced to go the distance. This one, 8 rounds. And Ariel, you mentioned Tyron Woodley, and again, a guy whose fights I called over a decade ago when he first burst on the scene. There's Mama Woodley. His legacy was on the line tonight. He didn't get knocked out. He maybe didn't win. How would you rate his performance tonight?
Listen, he has nothing to be ashamed of. 39, lost his last 4 in a row. I'm sure he's going to be disappointed if he doesn't get the W here, but I think he represented himself and the MMA community considering the state of his career right now. 39 and everything involved. I don't think he has anything to be ashamed of, but yes, it looks like Jake Paul's going to get
for Jake Paul, Al, regardless of the outcome, where does he go from here?
As we look at the journey, as we look at the numbers, there are some good things for him. You know, he landed 41% of his power punches. He did land more punches, and what he showed, I think, was, look, in rounds 4 and 5, he looked like he was a little gassed, right? He did show the resilience in those later rounds to come back and perform well enough to very likely get this decision, and so that's impressive. Now, let's think about this. So, we saw Tommy Fury earlier in a 4-round fight. What would he, and he's never been past 4 rounds. If he's the next opponent for Paul, what happens in rounds 5, 6, 7 if they get there? That's looking a long way off. But
well, those were the questions we were asking about him going into tonight, and I think hopefully we can finally put an end to the debate if he's a fighter. I think he proved tonight, Jake Paul did, that this man is a fighter. He's stepping those ropes.
If anything, it was a work of heart by Jake Paul because he had to display that aspect.
I like that. Let's take a look at this fight in microcosm as we go inside the ropes and take a look at what transpired. And Paul early in the fight was good with some counterpunching and landing this left hand, but we started to get glimpses as Woodley landed a couple power punches. The left hook, the right hand. There was a point there, especially in round 4, where Woodley, and this could easily have been called a knockdown because he knocked Paul against the ropes and the ropes kept him up. It wasn't called that. That could have had some difference in the scoring. But as Woodley kept walking Jake Paul down, he did get some things done offensively. But Jake Paul boxed effectively. And remember that overhand right that he threw a round or 2 ago. That was one of the better punches for Jake Paul. So
the question I have is who's going to get the tattoo, Al? Remember the bet they made. And there's a tattoo artist in attendance.
There is, and that tattoo artist will be sent to one of the dressing rooms. You did come up with the central question.
Yeah, well, and you know who has the answer to the real question is Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of action, we have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Jaime Garayua scores about 77-75 in favor of Jake Paul. Judge at ringside, Phil Rogers scores about 77-75 in favor of Tyron Woodley. And judge at ringside, Dana DePaulo scores about 78-74 in favor of the winner by split decision. And still undefeated, the problem Jake Paul.
his hometown, gets another win and continues this most unlikely boxing journey, Al.
Yeah, and it provided some twists. He had to go the distance. He faced the wall when it looked like he was going to be so tired. Could he continue? He did. It wasn't a brilliant effort, but it was a good effort, and it was enough to get him to win.
And to the victor go the spoils.
Exactly, yes.
Tyron Woodley goes the 8-round distance in his professional boxing debut, showing some love to Jake Paul's family. He didn't embarrass himself, Al, but this is what speaks volumes.
Yeah. The mom's gonna hug him.
Forget the fight. Let's watch the moms.
And you know, the interesting thing about this is, for Woodley, though it wasn't a winning effort, he was able to withstand, go the 8 rounds, and show some moments.
And like Eric B. and Rakim said back in the day, everyone is getting paid in full.
Yeah, and you know, for those that want to think about it and think about this question with Jake Paul, because he's in this, he's going to have more fights. What did this tell us about Jake Paul? It clearly told us that there's more work to be done and that they're going to have to do it. And that man, BJ Flores, there will be at the center of trying to smooth out the edges, maybe work on conditioning, see where they can get him.
And if it is Tommy Fury, well, then it will be a guy who is a boxer. Yes. All right, let's go up to Ariel Helwani.
Mauro, thank you very much. A great scene here inside the ring. Jake, congratulations on a great win. Was that tougher than you expected it to be?
Cleveland, what's good? Yeah, look, I don't know what to say, but that, you know, he's a tough opponent. He's been boxing, fighting, striking, whatever you want to call it, for 20-something years. I've been doing this for 3 years as of a couple days ago. This one's for my city, this one's for Cleveland. You know, it was a tougher fight than I expected. My legs felt weird since the locker room. I don't know what's wrong with me, but he's a tough opponent. All respect to Tyron. You know, he's a Hall of Famer. He put up a good fight. He's a good boxer. He came in shape. I have nothing but respect to him. There was a lot of shit talk back and forth. My apologies to his team if anyone felt disrespected. It's no hard feelings, man, but this feels amazing to do this for my city, bring it home. This is a dream come true. I want to cry, but I'm a little tired.
Are you surprised one judge scored it for him?
100%, yeah. I mean, let's be honest, that's bullshit. Like, come on. Especially in my hometown, like, where's that judge at? Come on. You got the win. It's all good. But he hit me with one shot the whole fight. You know, it was a good shot. He hit me with more shots, but I'm saying like a real shot, one shot. I don't know what they were looking at, but it's all good. Still got the victory. Got 8 rounds under my belt. All my previous opponents went 1 minute. So for me to come in here in my first real 8-round fight, who's doing that? Who goes 8 rounds in their first fight? You see Tommy Fury, 7-0. He goes 4 rounds. Yes, sir. You know, I'm doing things that no one's done. And to go up against a Hall of Famer, a 5-time UFC champion, and to win when all the pressure's on.
Congratulations.
He's a tough opponent. Look at him. He's jacked as shit.
Well, you just mentioned Tommy Fury. He won earlier tonight, but you have the pick of the litter. You have called out names like Nathan Diaz. You have called out Jorge Masvidal. Is Fury next, or is someone else on your mind?
Honestly, we'll see. I've been boxing for 18 months now. I haven't been to the dentist. I barely got my hair cut in like 2 years. My teeth are all crooked. My nose is crooked. I've dedicated my past 18 months to this. I haven't stopped. I think I might need to chill out for a second, figure out who I am. I'm only 24. I'm changing. I'm growing. I'm learning a lot. I'm going through ups and downs. I'm making mistakes, but I'm keeping my head on straight, and I'm going to just get back in the gym when I'm ready, and we'll see. You know, I want to thank Showtime, Steven Espinoza. This is the second biggest pay-per-view event of the whole entire year. This is the second biggest pay-per-view event of the whole entire year, behind my brother and Mayweather, behind this guy and Mayweather.
Can we finally put an end to the question, to the debate? Jake Paul, Logan Paul, these aren't fighters. People are saying you just went 8 rounds with a former UFC champion. Can we finally put an end to that debate?
I think that debate was ended, you know, a year ago in the gym, but no one got to see that. You know, I didn't even fight my best tonight. I give myself a C-. But like I said, my legs were shaky. This is my first time fighting in front of a crowd, you know, since my first amateur fight.
Logan, what do you think of your brother's performance?
Spectacular. I think my voice is gone because I was screaming so loud. But in my opinion, I think we got the Jake Paul people didn't know existed. We saw him face some adversity for the first time in his boxing career, and he went up one of the greatest welterweights of all time. Tyron Woodley is an animal, and the fact that my brother was able to secure a victory after getting hit with a good clean shot and come back. You know, you never know what happens after you feel that shot for the first time where you're a little bit rattled. You black out for a second. You're maybe not sure where you are. Who knows what was going through his head, but he knew he needed to fight, and he did that. I got so much love for this kid. I love Cleveland. I'm so happy to be here. I'm blessed. Tyron, also, we love you, bro. Come on.
Well, congratulations. I do want to give Tyron a chance.
Hey, I just want to say to all the kids out there, if you're ever getting bullied, keep your head up. Stay confident. Look to boxing. Boxing can give you confidence. And if you are bullying kids out there, it's not cool. I used to be a bully, okay? And then I realized it wasn't cool. Then when I started doing my thing, blowing up on the internet, people were hating on me, and it hurt my feelings. So just know if you're bullying someone, if you're bullying kids out there, stop it. Stop it. Find boxing. Find something that you love. Grow confidence in yourself, because that shit hurts. Words hurt. My foundation, Boxing Bullies, is fighting against this. Keep your head up if you're getting bullied. Find something that's going to make you confident. I love you guys. I love everyone at home. Thank you.
That is a great message. Tyron, I do want to get a word with you. Congrats on a great performance. How do you feel about what you accomplished out there?
I feel like if that was the second biggest pay-per-view, the round two going to be bigger than that. I feel like I won the fight. I feel like Jake's a great opponent. I didn't expect him to go down. Me and my coaches worked that. That's why I came in great shape, because I knew he can take a punch. But the fact that one judge gave me 2 rounds is laughable. No disrespect, but fuck the Fury fight. Me and Jake need to run that back.
So you want an immediate rematch? Is that of interest to you?
Off the top, I want an instant rematch. Nobody gonna sell a pay-per-view like we did. The Fury ain't gonna do that. Of course I want a rematch. I felt like I won the fight. I felt like he was tough. I hit him. The ropes held him up. I landed more power shots. When he threw the shots, they were hitting my gloves. When he landed a clean shot, which he did, he landed clean shots, and I knew he had heavy hands. But I didn't hit the ground like his other opponents. I walked him down and I landed back. So let's run it back.
Does that interest you, Jake?
Hey, look, of course he wants the payday. You know, of course you want the payday. You had
the fight. I don't want the payday. I want to fight.
You had your opportunity. You had your opportunity.
So you don't want to fight me again?
I will.
I do.
Hey, you old news, fam.
You had your chance.
Sorry.
Logan.
You had your chance.
Fall back.
You had your chance. I was nothing but respectful to you right now.
You the one that got wobbled, almost sent through the rope. If these fucking ropes wasn't 7'2", you would have went through the ropes. I landed the power punches. You missed.
If you get the tattoo,
you're not scared running back.
If you get the tattoo, I love Jake Paul. Let's run it back.
Bet. Let's go. Bet.
Deal.
Make the bet. Bet.
Deal. Get the tattoo. Get the tattoo. We'll run it back.
Right now, tonight with Tattoo Baby.
We got the tattoo artist right here, so you ain't going nowhere.
Tattoo tonight.
Wipe the sweat off and shave that leg, because I'm putting I love Jake Paul on your fucking leg, and then we can run it back.
All right, well, Malky Kawa, who is Tyron's manager, is saying to send the contract, Morrow. I don't know if we just made an immediate rematch right here and now, but that was quite the scene. Morrow, back to you.
Hey, Ariel, great job in there, my man. And Al, I think the first time ever where getting a tattoo was a part of a negotiation. I mean, they've already made the bet. He needs to get the tattoo.
Yeah, he does need to get the tattoo. But, high-level negotiations, and then we'll find out if that is, in fact, the case. And why not? Why wouldn't it be that way, based upon everything else?
So Jake Paul earns a split decision victory. Let's bring in our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood, to look at the official scoring of this fight.
Mo, the scores are fascinating because the judges agreed on only 3 of the 8 rounds. They were all over the place here. After 3 rounds, Paul was ahead, but Bill Rogers gave the last 5 rounds of the fight to Woodley, and Dana DePaulo gave the last 4 rounds of the fight to Paul. and that's how they got their scores. My score, I thought Paul pretty much controlled it. I gave him the 2 swing rounds, the 5th and the 7th, but I thought Paul clearly won the fight.
Paul said that throughout this, and yeah, man, he was a promoter. He was doing tons of media. And oh, yeah, he had to train for the fight, but he says he's having fun, soaking it all in, because you do not get moments like this twice in life. Will Woodley get a second moment in the ring with Jake Paul? We'll have to wait and see. And you know, one last thing, boxing didn't just alleviate Paul's anxiety. He said it gave him purpose, meaning, structure, and stability. And Brian Custer, as a native of Ohio, your state needs to stand up and cheer, because boy, did they show up tonight, and they added to what was a unique environment this evening.
Yeah, you're right. The Buckeye State did show up here. And how about that post-fight press conference? That probably had even more action than the actual fight. I think for Jake Paul, as you take a look at him, I think Al pointed out really well, he'll probably work on that stamina. Listen, he showed that he could go the distance, but I think he probably want to tighten up that technique, especially as the fight goes on, because he got a little more wild as the fight went on. And for Tyron Woodley, if he's going to continue on fighting, want to be more active. Listen, he said he had a good jab, and whenever he used it to set up that right hand, he was effective. If he do more of that, he certainly will be a lot more successful. Now, listen, you saw the judges scored this fight, a split decision victory for Jake Paul. Listen, we asked you to tweet your results to us, and look at this. On social media, over 50% of you thought Tyron Woodley should have been victorious in this fight. Man, hey, maybe Woodley was onto something when he talked about that in the post-fight press conference. Listen, we captured some audio in the corner during this fight. We call it trainer tracks.
I need you to calm it down a little bit, and we didn't really bounce too much. When you bounce, you got him in good rhythm.
There's 3 rounds down. You got 5 more rounds left. This shit gonna go over fast. The same thing, but I need more. I need more action than that, champ.
Bring the jab right here in the middle and get to the right. Also, when you're stabbing, moving back, touch jab off that back leg. We haven't got that jab in the body going yet. We gotta get it going.
Don't let this guy off the hook. When you get him to back up, take it to him, step to him. Don't walk away from him. Go to him, punch him.
Yeah, you're boxing perfect. Now we're starting to get him a little more comfortable right now, okay? We haven't done it yet. I need some 1-2-1s, Jake. You're not giving them to me.
Stay smart with your hands up, no matter what happened in there, because he still got that lucky loopy shit. We're gonna be ready for it.
Listen, shorten your stance a little bit. I need the right hand lead and get to your right. He's looking for the jab now.
We don't need no knockout, but I want you to act like you need one, okay?
Good shit. Way to get control back. That's all fucking round. Good job, baby. This is our fight. Way to get through your first test, baby. We're on the mat now. 7-1. You showed you got gas. You showed you got conditioning, everything.
Now for more on tonight's fights and what else is ahead from Showtime, make sure you follow us at Showtime Boxing on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure you check out the Facebook and the Show Sports YouTube channel for live coverage of tonight's post-fight press conference. Stay with us. We're going to wrap it all up here from Cleveland in just a moment. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley is brought to you by Showtime Pay-Per-View, by Sportymon Go. Visit us at sportymongo.com. Being a hitman used to be so easy. Gerard Butler and Frank Grillo star in Cop Shop. Rated R. Only in theaters September 17th. And by the Barstool Sportsbook. Sign up with the code FIGHT and deposit to unlock a $100 free bet on a Pro Football Championship future. Let's recap the action here from Cleveland. We began 4 rounds. Tommy Fury from the UK making his U.S. debut against Anthony Taylor. Of course, Fury, the younger brother of Tyson Fury. What the size difference he had. And he basically dominated this fight against Taylor, who was shorter, couldn't really get on the inside. And it's Fury who wins in his U.S. debut with the unanimous decision. And then we had super lightweights, 10 rounds. Ivan Baranchik and Montana Love, who's from Cleveland. What a performance for Love. And in that 7th round, that left hand, the uppercut dropped Baranchik
really right before the round ended. And when the round ended, his corner said that was enough, and Montana Love with a 7th round TKO. Then we had the heavyweights. Daniel Dubois, another fighter from the UK making his US debut. Giuseppe Cusimano, and in the first round, Dubois jumped right on him, and that right hand dropped him. In fact, he dropped him 3 times in that first round and walks away with a first round TKO. And then the co-main, 10 rounds, the unified champ Amanda Serrano taking on the WBO featherweight champ and Yami Mercado. And listen, I'll tell you what, Serrano just pounded the body of Mercado all night long and walks away with a unanimous decision. And then we get to the main event, 8 rounds. Cruiserweight, Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley making his boxing debut. And this one had moments. Hey, look, Jake threw some combinations here on early. Woodley had a big 4th round where he finally got a chance to land his right hand, but it was Paul for the most part who controlled the fight and walks away with a split decision victory. He remains unbeaten. That will do it for us from here in Cleveland. Now from Mauro Ranallo, Al Bernstein, Ariel Helwani, Steve Farhood, Phoenix Carnevale, and our entire Showtime Sports crew, I'm Brian Custer. Good night from the land.